Pete Richardson. I'm Year 3 teacher and assistant head. This model is a lot smaller than the real one. Okay, it's probably about 72 times smaller. Okay, so the real one will be 72 times bigger. Rising Stars Mathematics has really helped develop all our stuff. We've been using it for a year now. So when we were kind of making that initial decision as to which scheme to follow, as we knew we wanted to take on an approach that would basically enable us to fulfill the new national curriculum, we'd looked at several other schemes and we kind of dabbled with a couple of them, and we didn't really feel that they either gave us the support we need or they were too rigid. So these are the kind of two extremes, and what we found that Rising Stars Mathematics, it enabled our teachers and it gave them the subject knowledge they needed, but it let them still express themselves, be themselves and use their strengths. And what we want is, we want our teachers to know their children well, and this scheme enables them to adapt to the needs of their children rather than rigidly push them down one way or not give them the support they need, and that's what works brilliantly with Rising Stars Mathematics. So the teacher guide, which is kind of the core part of it, is fantastic because it gives complete and utter structure and all the information that you need to be able to organise your lessons with secure subject knowledge underpinning everything. But it also gives flexibility so different teachers can use it and change and adapt it to their own style of teaching, so you're not very rigid in your approach, which is exactly what we like with it. The approach we took within our school was that we wanted to take on board a full mastery approach. So that meant ditching the setting that had gone before that worked really well, but for a different curriculum. So what we found that works really well with that is that when you're pairing sort of a middle higher ability child with a middle lower ability child, rather than the extremes, then they work really well together. They share on that kind of learning journey that they're going through. They've got to help themselves and the partner's got to help them. They've got all the tools with the scheme needed to be able to do that. So the onus and the expectation is raised, and what we found is that they are able, by and large, to be able to meet that measure and extend their own learning. You sometimes get these in model cars like that. It's a much cooler looking car than that one. And you can see the different scales that you would have. Okay? We could look at that scale as going that many times bigger or that many times smaller. And to do that, we can look at this little model that we have here. Here, we could say, okay, we've got something that's going to be made twice as big, and it's going to end up with M. Here, you've got something that's going to be made 2 times smaller, twice as small. Talking to your partner, can you tell me anything you notice about the models, about anything to do with the way that it scales up or scales down? Have I told your partner? The teacher guide really gives you the structure you need to be able to plan a whole unit of work and beyond, and know what's coming next as well. So you might not just look at your concept spread and what you're learning in that day and the next few days. You know what's coming up next over that unit. So you're really staying with that same concept for a longer time. So rather than flitting around all over the place, you are staying with that and deepening the understanding of that and the related subject knowledge around that for the children. And that's obviously helps with their learning, but it helps you plan what comes along next as well. One of the big advantages that we found as a staff is because you've got all that high quality subject knowledge there and a clear structure throughout, the depth of planning is significantly reduced, yet the quality of teaching has been increased. So it's like that's like the holy grail for a teacher in terms of saving them time but being able to deliver quality lessons. So that's a huge benefit to us in using Rising Stars Mathematics. How can they be the same size? Why are they showing this in the same size? If it says here we're going to make it a third, that means 3 times smaller. How is it the same size? Why are they doing it like that? Riley?
Because you just chop in the middle of that and then the other bit, and then you're putting them back together, and then it's the same size.
So are you trying to say that if I cut this up into 3 equal sized amounts, I've got the same as D, I've just got them in 3 parts, Rising Stars Mathematics really supports that deeper understanding in children's learning. The Teacher's Guide really clearly illustrates how on every single concept spread, so double page in the Teacher's Guide, you get what this looks like at mastery. You also get support for the children who are struggling a bit, the children who are more able in that class as well. Additional activities that all deepen their understanding. It's not just more calculations for them to do, it's really securing their understanding and then pushing that deeper so that they can apply it in different contexts. And so you get the full kind of range that you're going to need to be able to have a good, deep, secure understanding in any class for that content, as well as being able to answer the kind of questions you're going to get at end of key stage tests as well. The homework element of Rising Stars Mathematics is really strong. It basically enables you on every concept spread to have a choice of 2 different activities that you can send home that you know are going to strengthen and deepen children's understanding from what you've been doing that week in class. And that's quite powerful to what we've been doing before, where you just be printing off random things that are vaguely in the right area and sending those home. This really ties in strongly with what's going on in school. So it gives those children that extra time to kind of overlearn those skills, put them in different contexts, and crucially, they're not dry activities where the children are just working through some calculations. They're hands-on activities. They have to go and get the weighing scales out, they have to play a game, and it really brings in parents, it raises that parental engagement. So you think it's 2 because you're looking at this space, the difference between the 2 of them, Declan? Okay, anybody got anything to say about that? Riley?
I think it's 3 because the one next to the bottom one doesn't count as 1.
So that doesn't count? Why doesn't it count as 1?
Because that one doesn't count.
Undoubtedly, Rising Stars Mathematics has made me a better teacher. It's made me a better maths teacher, but actually it's made me a better teacher across lots of other subjects. I'm finding that some of the kind of ideas and the kind of questioning that it suggests in the Teacher's Guide and in the CPD videos as well, I'm applying in things like English, and it's actually helping the children in there as well. So that's why it's made me a better teacher. That Teacher Guide gives me a core understanding and a confidence in what I'm doing, and knowing that the children are going to be able to move on well and have a deeper understanding, and that confidence comes from actually seeing it work. If that bar is worth 40 and you're going to make it 4 times as small, which means you're finding a quarter of it, could you show me that with the rods and then work out what it would be? I'm really proud of what we've achieved so far with Rising Stars Mathematics. There's been a clear impact across our school, and what we've noticed is that in the area of number, where it was a real area for concern before, that is now a huge strength throughout every single class in school, and that has to be because of Rising Stars Mathematics. We've noticed that the children are becoming more confident in maths, they're becoming more able to move around different areas of maths and apply that learning, particularly those lower ability children that kind of hovered around potentially SEN children under a previous framework, and seeing them enjoy mathematics and seeing them really be able to feel a sense of their own ability growing. That's what makes this really special. What you've got to understand is that Rising Stars Mathematics, it basically is a tool that would fit almost all schools. You've got clear support, you've got really good quality resources, and what we've found is that it can not only give you that structure and support, but it gives you the flexibility and the adaptability that you need in any school. So yeah, I would unreservedly recommend it.